Aloha from Kilipohe, Keikani Aloha. A little update on the GC2310 tractor. I got this bypass hose because my hose was a little pipe. There's a little pipe that goes from one side to the other. It was totally rusted, so I got a fitting and the bypass hose. And now I can raise and lower the 3-point. So I'm confident the hydraulics are working. After learning a little bit more about hydraulics, I found that just the fact that the steering was working indicates that the hydraulic pump is putting out pressure. I'm not sure how much it is putting out pressure, how much pressure it is putting out, but it's sufficient to steer. It is sufficient to raise the 3-point hitch. I don't know how much weight it will lift, but there we go. So today I'm kind of working on, sit down here and show you what's going on. This is the left side of the tractor, and the issue was all of these levers. I mean, you can see this thing is just rusted off, and that's going to be an issue, but all of these levers were just frozen in position. Of course, this is the rear PTO engage. This is the lever for the front, or rather mid PTO engage. The brake lever here was bent out, and the rod is still kind of bent. I'm just kind of trying to decide whether or not it's worth. I guess I'll take it off and try and straighten it. But also all of this stuff was really rusted, and I'm going to show you an example of that here in a second. But just having these things rusted together was keeping the brake from engaging, and you can see it fully engages. It's fine. The mid PTO engages and disengages. It's a little stiff, but that's fine. The rear PTO engages, and the PTO clutch lever turns. That's hydraulic, of course. But none of that was working before I started today. And the reason was because all these bushings, this bushing was totally frozen up. And that's for the mid PTO engage. This bushing was totally frozen up, and that links down here to the PTO clutch. And as I said, the brake lever was frozen on there, so the brakes weren't really properly operating. And now I'm kind of working on this, which is the differential lock. And, it's kind of rusted up here. There's still some pin left. I mean, really, the pins and stuff are in such bad shape. I don't know if we can even zoom. Yeah, we can't really zoom in on that with the super steady on. But in order to get that out, I had to drill it out. And there's just no other way. And then this one, same thing. I drilled that out. This one, I took as much of the pin off as I could, and then I just took my little die grinder, my square die grinder bit, and then just kind of ground off the edges. So, this bar, it doesn't come off. It's just like stuck on there. And, in truth, it's just like paper thin down here. It may be 1/8 inch up here where it's unrusted, but the rest of it is down to a little saw edge right there. So I'm going to keep working on that, but basically I believe the reason the diff lock is not going is because the bar is just totally stuck on there. And if I can get that that connection right there to move, then I should be able to engage and disengage the diff lock. Okay, all right, pausing there, and I'm going to work on that. Okay, well, that took a little bit, but I got the lever out. The spring is pretty much shot. Doesn't really spring very well anymore. But, I mean, this is pretty well rusted together right there. I did get the brake bar out, linkage out, so yeah, I'm going to straighten that out. And as I suspected, the diff lock, you know, it moves pretty freely. So I don't know how far it's supposed to go, but I mean, it's moving. So if there's a problem with it, it's internal and I may not have to deal with it. But right now, everything on the left-hand side of the mower, with the exception probably of the mower, of the tractor, of the mower deck, the exception being the mower deck height, it seems to move okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go with it like it is right there. I'll clean all this stuff up, weld some, you know, some bars back on there. I have some 1/8 inch, which really isn't quite thick enough, but it's certainly thicker than the crap that came out of here. Where's that? Here's this diff lock lever. If I can get it so you can see it. And it's just, it's down to nothing. I can bend it with my hand. If I had both ends, I could show you that I could bend it. And it's just really rusted. So, yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Maybe what I'll do is, you know, hella bent. Maybe what I'll do is, I don't really want to make a new one. Maybe I'll just clean this up with the grinder and stuff, and then weld a couple of pieces on top of it to give it some strength. And then, yeah, we'll have a diff lock. Probably ought to grease this linkage down here somehow. I don't know if it's supposed to have Zerk or not, but it doesn't feel like it does. Maybe I can just get it off. There's a snap ring or something. Anyway, there we go. Making some progress. I ordered that fan that goes between there. I'm contemplating making a hydraulic press to press the spline off. What else progress was? Not really very much. Yeah, the engine's still a problem. Oh, I did manage to get the actual shutoff to work. So on this relay right here, there are 4 wires that come in: a white with a gray stripe, a yellow with a red stripe, and a black. And the white should be positive all the time, and that had totally corroded. And so I replaced that connector and got it shoved in there. And so now when you shut off the engine, the fuel shutoff solenoid engages for a little bit, and the engine shuts off. So it starts with the key, it shuts off with a key. I'm not going to demo that now because it's up here on blocks, and I don't want to risk knocking it over. So, okay, we're back together here. I fabricated a new bar for the diff lock, and added some metal to the PTO shafts. I still need the spring that goes here and circlip, but we can engage both the front and the mid PTO. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there's the mid PTO shaft. That's engaged. Back PTO, engage, and the clutch. So there you go. One casualty of the work was this switch, which is a lockout switch, I guess, for the PTO. So if the PTO is engaged, it's not supposed to start the engine. But so far so good. All right, the left side of the tractor is working a little better. The brakes are in better shape now. I'm not going to mess with it because the right side is going to be a problem, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, aloha.